your information? Do you get it from your grandmother? Do you get it from your friends on Facebook? Do you get it from a trusted news source, such as one of these sources? Anybody?
Yeah. Google.
Google, okay. Anybody Facebook?
I see some on Twitter.
Twitter, okay. According to the Pew Research Center, in an article published June 1st, 2015, among millennials, 61% got political news on Facebook and 37% from local TV. Baby boomers, it's 39% from Facebook and 60% from TV. And then Gen Xers, which fall in the middle of those two, are like half and half. They get 51% from Facebook or social media and 49% from television. As a millennial, like the oldest of oldest millennials that exist, I fall into the category of getting most of my news from social media, which admittedly I do, but I feel like I follow news sources on social media, so I don't really know if that counts, but that's kind of where I get most of it. But how much of that is feeding me what I already want to hear? Confirmation bias is unknowingly sown into our everyday lives and can have lasting effects on our society if not recognized. Today, I will define confirmation bias, explain the current online algorithms that put it into our lives, and explore the real-world applications of what can happen if we don't pay attention to these things. According to Britannica.com, confirmation bias is listed as the tendency to process information by looking for or interpreting information that is consistent with one's existing beliefs. In other words, you're only seeking out things that already bolster what you already think, just to reinforce your thoughts. In an article for Psychology Today, written on April 25th, 2015, Dr. Shraram Heshmat writes, confirmation bias occurs from the direct influence of desire on beliefs. When people would like a certain idea or concept to be true, they end up believing it to be true. They are motivated by wishful thinking. This error leads the individual to stop gathering information when the evidence gathered so far confirms the views one would like to be true. This claim shows us that once you find what you're looking for, you want news on something, you find what you're looking for, you stop there, right? You don't keep going. You don't find another article that might tell you something different. You think, that's exactly what I thought, and I was right, and then you stop. You don't look any further from that. This concept isn't new. This isn't something, I mean, human nature has been this way forever, but what is new is the technology that is kind of reinforcing and putting these things into our lives. In his book, Whose Global Village?, Srinivasan points out that invisible algorithms determine the content that social media networks curate and present to us. They decide what is important. These algorithms take input from the people we associate with on social media, and this leads to echo chambers. But a lot more is done in secret. What we do know is that they tend to confirm our existing biases and those of our existing networks. Yet as users, we know almost nothing about the choices that went into these personalization algorithms and are not given much of an alternative. So what that means is we don't really know how they pick it, and we don't have the option to say, pick it this way or pick it this way. They just kind of keep feeding you what they think you want to hear. So what does Facebook have to say about this? On June 29th, 2016, Adam Mosseri, Facebook's VP of Product Management, stated on their website, "We are not in the business of picking which issues the world should read about. We are in the business of connecting people and ideas and matching people with the stories they find most meaningful. Our integrity depends on being inclusive of all perspectives and viewpoints and using ranking to connect people with the stories and sources they find the most meaningful and engaging." Which all sounds really nice and lovely, and I'm sure they had some great PR guy come in and make sure that sounded awesome. But what it proves is they're aware. They get what they're doing, they know what they're doing, and they're creating a network where similar people connect with each other, which is not inherently a bad thing, but if they're not making it transparent that they're doing this, I believe that there are billions of people that use Facebook who do not understand that this is happening. The problem occurs when people just keep getting news and they think that's all that exists. They don't know that this is happening, that they're getting fed these things that they already think. On June 30th, 2016, Nelson Granados wrote for Forbes, "The consequence. Without realizing it, you are likely to develop tunnel vision when the personalization is based on your past click and like behavior." We all have that crazy aunt who only says crazy aunt things on Facebook, so we hide her. We don't want to see any of her stuff, but it hides the crazy aunt stuff, but then it also hides maybe anything else she could like, which could be legitimate information. It's now hiding all of those things. He goes on to state, "Keep in mind you can customize the newsfeed by hiding certain types of posts, unfollowing a friend's post while staying friends, or hiding posts from a page. But full customization is not possible. So your only alternative is to use other media outlets to stay informed." Which brings me to my charge to you all. I encourage you to be aware of what's going on, what you're reading on social media. I mean, in the news in general, but specifically social media. Try and be open-minded. Try and read something that's out of your comfort zone or that doesn't agree with what you think every day. Challenge your biases that you have. You don't have to agree with it, but it helps to keep perspective on what you're reading and what you're seeing every day. Going forward, you'll know what confirmation bias is, how to spot it, and what to do when it appears in your life. Thank you.